Welcome to the Heart to Heartland podcast. Here are your hosts. Welcome to episode 7 of the Heart to Heartland podcast. I am one of your hosts, Isabelle.
And I'm Soile.
And what do we have for us today?
Well, first we have a little bit news. We start off with maybe some sad news. Do you want to?
We have a death.
Yeah, one of
I'm
our.
assuming it's dead anyways. I don't think it could live through that.
Yeah.
Oh, the tears.
One of our, I wouldn't say hosts, but one of our
biggest supporters.
Yeah, has most likely passed away, and that's Mr. Mouse or Mrs. Mouse or Miss Mouse.
My cat swallowed it whole. Now, okay, it's a barn cat. I live on a farm. We have like 20 cats in the barn. So I posted the video on TikTok of my cat like basically swallowing the mouse whole, and like Pete is coming after me for it.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Have you guys never lived on a farm before?
Yeah, like it's the circle of life.
Yeah. I was like, not like I wanted to see my cat swallow Ratatouille, but like here we are.
Yeah. We considered doing a memorial video, but like we have such a
we didn't have that much time with him.
And the budget, so
yeah, very low budget.
But we sent a fruit basket to the mouse's family and offered our condolences. Yeah. So that's something we wanted to address like right away.
Just in case you guys were wondering.
Yeah, like why you haven't
seen the mouse anymore.
Yeah.
It's gone to mouse
heaven. Yeah. Rest in peace.
Rest in pieces.
Yeah. But from something sad to something nice, we have promised that once we have 100 followers on Instagram, H2HL podcast, Instagram, we will give away 3 Amber Marshall magazines. Right now we're recording this on Wednesday and we're 1 follower away from reaching the goal. Mm-hmm. So if you want to participate, we'll post the post on Saturday just so people can see what we're talking about, and once we've reached that goal we will do the giveaway, so keep an eye on that.
And it's also really cool because a lot of Amber's magazines, once they're sold out of the physical copies, they don't reprint them. Yeah. So if you collect these magazines and you want a physical copy, it's a really good way to do it.
Yeah, and this is worldwide, so wherever you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have a little bit of a leak, I would say.
Just a regular Wednesday in the fandom.
Yeah, totally. As many of you know, there has not been at this moment any official word from Block Whisperer or whatever that there would be season 15, but we
just keep saying they have no news for us yet. Yeah. Like, okay, sure you do.
Yeah, like we've been teased about it through Chris and Michelle and a little bit of Amber as well. Mm-hmm. But nothing official unless you count the Alberta Corporation's site that has Rescued Horse season 15 registered 2 months ago, which means that they're ready.
2 months ago.
Yeah, they're ready to go. It's active. And then there's Actra Alberta, which offers talented performers, skilled technicians, and financial incentives. I don't know how to say that. Sorry. But it's basically, they have a lot of talent on Heartland, such as Amber Marshall and Caitlin Leap. And they have announced that season 15 starts filming on June 7th and finishes filming September 21 this year.
That's interesting because they always used to go right to December, but now I'm assuming it's 10 episodes again.
Yeah. And, I've seen people saying, I want to hear from Amber or from the blog, and, that's fine if you need that.
Yeah,
but
you don't have to trust them, but...
Yeah. But I'm just saying that those are legit sources and they're trustworthy. And personally, I believe them.
No idea why they're making us wait, but...
Yeah. But maybe by Thursday they have an announcement or something.
Tomorrow,
yeah.
Or next Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, or last Thursday when you're listening this. We don't know at this point, but it's definitely looking good for season.
They have to do it soon though, because they're gonna start filming in literally like a month tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
What is today? Today's the 5th. Today's the 5th. Yeah, so 2 days.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's 7th? Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll have so much to talk about on the podcast once they start filming. I'm very excited for that. So we get to actually like document what it's like to go through a filming season as a fan.
Yeah. And we'll keep on doing these podcasts in different themes, but I think in each episode we're going to talk about, what's been going on with the filming.
Yeah, we're always going to give you guys the updates for sure.
Yeah, as far as we know, like we're just fans, so we don't have any.
Yeah, to the best of our ability anyways.
Yeah.
I have one quick thing that's actually really funny. I was just scrolling through my Instagram before this, and Carrie had posted a video of him going skinny dipping, which he does often.
Yeah.
And like always, there's a bunch of Karens in the comment section, and this one lady had said, "This is why I don't go to the beach." And Carrie replied, what did he say? Something like, "I'm glad you weren't there either." Such a savage. I love him so much.
Yeah.
And like the fact that I'm really glad that he posts it unapologetically. Like, I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I post stuff, but not all the stuff I'd like to post because some people can handle the hate.
Yeah, he definitely can. He has the attitude that I wish I had.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see the response to him going skinny dipping, and then, Alicia posting the picture she posted like a couple of weeks ago, and the response.
Carrie's posts are nicer than Alicia's, that's for sure. Not that nice, but nicer, because it's more acceptable for a man to do it then.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately.
This week we decided to do a fun episode about something that most fandoms do, which is confessions. And if you don't know what that means, it means that fans can confess anonymously. To different sides, their true thoughts about the show or things around the show, and people either agree or disagree, but
it's like an outlet for you to say what you really think without anyone knowing that you're the one who said it.
Because usually when people have so-called unpopular opinions, they might get attacked for it, but then this is a fun way to see what other people think. Sometimes the response can be surprising if you see like people agreeing with you. But before we started filming, I posted this question sticker on Instagram, and I asked people to confess things, and here's first one. I'm gonna read out loud.
I haven't read these yet, so I'm excited to see what these say.
I won't say their usernames because that's the whole idea of the
we need to keep their identities under wrap because some people are gonna run around with torches.
Yeah, so basically we're gonna read some confessions and then kind of react to them and talk about the themes in the confessions to see kind of what we think. These are just some picks we did to get
we both individually picked a few from the Heartland confessions on Tumblr, which has been around forever. It's probably definitely the main source for Heartland fan confessions. So we both went through and picked out a few to talk about. So I don't know what you picked and you don't know what I picked. So.
There's some confession sites on Instagram as well, but we decided to use this.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm like an archaic person on social media.
Yeah. We decided to use this blog because it has been, like you said, around forever, basically. So, but anyway, these are from our question sticker. The first one is, Ty's death was not the saddest moment on the show. What say you?
I say I agree. Well, it was really sad though. Like I bawl every time I watch the premiere. It's done really well, but like definitely in my opinion, I don't think it would be the saddest.
What would you say is the saddest moment?
Probably season 6, episode 18. I find myself being incredibly emotional throughout that whole episode, and then how it ends with Jack on the ground. That's probably saddest, I think. If not one of the saddest in my opinion.
I was trying to think what would be the one for me, but I narrowed it down to 2 because I couldn't really pick. But basically in season 3 when Becca's dies, I remember bawling, and then in season 9 when Paint dies. I think I tend to react more if there's animals involved. And with the show,
they're so innocent and free-spirited, and they don't know what's happening, right? So when that happens, it's heartbreaking. But I was gonna say that my second was probably gonna be when Paint dies.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ty is up there. It is a sad thing, but
yeah, for sure. But like for me, I like if I count saddest being which made me cry the most, then those 2. And then there's another one that says, not a fan of Peter and Mitch, especially with Lou. Love her with Scott. He's one of my favorites.
That's interesting because I always find it interesting because of the books, because they get married in the books.
And have kids,
so
I think.
So I was kind of hoping that when you start watching the show, you think that that's what's going to happen. And I was hoping that it would happen because I do like Scott, but not a fan. It'd be nice. It would be cool to see if they would have ended up together, but
I agree. Do you like Peter and Mitch as their own characters?
I like Mitch as his own character. Peter doesn't really have that much, you know what I mean? He's just kind of there. He doesn't do anything right now besides with his kids or lack thereof.
So
it's not like I don't like him, but it's not like I'm like, yeah, I like him. I just
I think for me it's complicated because I love Gabe. He's so funny.
Gabe's
and
hilarious.
like so it's like maybe if someone else played Peter, I would be like, whatever. But then, he's so likable that I'm kind of giving him a chance, even though, he has his problems.
I wish they would give him more things to do that didn't have to do with the kids. Which I kind of like at the same time because it breaks the stereotype, because he's always been when he has been that committed dad. It's been really cool to see, but that's all we see.
True. And Mitch, I like Kevin as well, so it's kind of the same thing. I like the Mitch character, of course, but just like with Peter, it's kind of like, well. So do you want to read your first confession that you picked?
Sure. I'll read the first one I picked.
By the way, these are just randomly picked. Like we didn't write these, or we might not even agree with them.
Some of them I picked because they're absolutely ridiculous, so we can laugh at them together. No disrespect to anyone, but
but it's interesting to see some confessions and be like, huh, never would have thought of that.
So this one I thought was really interesting. Someone said, and I'll show you on my phone that it is from Tumblr. We're never going to see Lily again. I'm placing my bet now. And I never thought of that. And at the same time, I'm like, that does kind of make sense because they will probably never see her again. I hope we do, though.
Yeah, I hope we do as well, because she's the grandmother for Lindy, and I think.
And I think that fans would want it to happen just so, they don't think that Heartland's forgetting Ty.
Yeah.
And especially since it's only the one season after his death, for the sake of the fandom, I hope they do a lot of Ty stuff.
Yeah. And I think even though the situation with Lily and Amy was a bit of problematic in season 14, I think at the end of the day, they had this connection, and I would hope
by the end of that episode, when she left, they were on good terms.
Yeah, so I would hope that Amy would, whenever Lindy has a birthday or like whatever, she would ask Lily to come. Or
I think the more likely scenario in this would be like Lindy's gone to see her Nana Lily.
True.
So she's going to be gone for an episode or two.
Yeah, but I really hope
about that. Would that be a good idea? Because I mean, at least they'd bring her up, bring like Lily up in conversation.
Yeah, in a way, if they can't show her, then keep her alive in other ways, just like we talked about Shane in the last episode. Like, he might not come back, but like, let's still acknowledge that he exists. Like, he's out there, but we just don't see him.
Nothing gets me more riled up than that storyline.
Yeah.
Rachel, want me to read one of yours?
Yeah. It says, I always have and always will ship Caleb and Lou. He would take such good care of her. His laid back personality with her perfectionist personality, they would have been perfect. I don't know if this was done in, what was it, season 7?
When they kissed?
Or season 6.
When Caleb and Lou kissed, that was season 6.
Yeah.
14, I think, or something. I don't know.
So, what do you think? Do you ship them, or did you ship them?
I think of Caleb as, and I know they're, in Heartland World, they're probably close to age, but I think of Caleb as like a younger brother because he was with Amy at one point. That's just my opinion on it. I don't think I'd like them together. I love Caleb, and I'm sure he would treat her well. I don't know how they'd work as a couple. I don't see it.
Yeah, I was trying to think what to say about this. Like, I wouldn't say I ship them. But like, it's interesting to think how they would be compatible, because she's such a driven person and has like this like it said, like perfectionist way of doing things, and he's kind of like, well, whatever.
Yeah, he just kind of like, he's chill, he's very laid back.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it, balancing each other out, but like, would Lou get frustrated with him? Because he's kind of a,
oh, for sure,
what some people call himbo.
What does that mean?
It's like a man bimbo. it's like a lovable, silly character.
Oh my god, what's the word?
Himbo, like
himbo.
Him and bimbo.
That's really, is that an English word?
I don't know, but it's definitely a term fans use about some characters.
Oh my god, I love it. That suits him.
So, there could be something interesting there, but I don't know if they could last for a long time. Yeah,
I mean, it probably lasted as long as it did for a reason, right?
Yeah.
He clearly wasn't interested. Yeah, that's it. That's a interesting confession for sure.
Yeah.
One to think about.
I remember being like shocked when they even introduced that storyline, like, what is going on?
Oh my god. And then do you remember how everyone then started to like, Heartland's a soap opera? Do you remember that after Caleb and Luke and people started like, Heartland's turning into a soap opera?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I think my mom said that too. I was like, have you guys ever seen a soap opera?
Like, I could sense they were building up to something before the kiss happened, but like, I was just like, yeah, no thanks. I don't know if it was because the way it happened or just the whole idea of them together that just seemed kind of random. I don't remember if Amy even found out about.
Oh, I don't think anyone did.
Yeah,
I think
Peter
that's
did.
something.
I think in some ways,
Oh,
not
right. 'Cause
not
Peter,
about the
not his
kiss, I think, but like just that they had gotten
He
closer.
never knew about the kiss? Oh, boy.
Don't quote me on that, but I don't think so.
Yikes.
I think I just remember Peter being like, "Oh, you're telling all stuff to,
Oh, yes, I remember
Caleb,"
that.
and then her being like, "Well, you're not here," and so
She ain't wrong.
yeah.
Oh, this one, speaking of Lou. Lou not freaking out over her wedding dress is so out of character that I don't know what to think.
Oh, the new wedding dress. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I kind of agree, but at the same time, I think it was telling about her, what she was going through and doubting the marriage with Mitch, and maybe she was kind of like giving up in a way.
Yeah.
Carrying
It was
her.
very telling that she didn't react.
Yeah.
Which is where the confession came from in the first place. But you later on find out that, they're not gonna get married, and I doubt we'll ever see Kevin again.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll be in season 15?
I mean, I think a lot of depends on when they're going to film When Calls the Heart. I mean, if they're going to film during summer, then, probably not.
Yeah, I doubt it. It'll probably. Well, I don't want to see him on a phone. If you're not gonna bring him in, don't bring him in at all. I was such a big Lou and Mitch fan at first, but it's just not there anymore.
Yeah, same.
I don't see the chemistry, not anymore.
Yeah.
Which is probably the whole point of the storyline. Yeah, do you have another one?
Oh yeah. I have one that I think you're gonna have opinions about.
Okay.
It says, I want Lisa and Jack to unexpectedly have a baby.
What?
Yep.
Hold on, let me wipe my coffee off my face. You want them to have a baby?
Yeah. A surprise baby.
Well,
take your time. I know.
I think it's safe to say that might not happen. I don't think it was ever part. Oh,
I don't know when this was made, this confession, but it
a
has a picture from season 8. But that might not.
Well, it's because people assume once you get married, you're gonna have kids, right? So Jack and Lisa get married, and they're not spring chickens, guys.
I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't have happened at that point, maybe, but it's a stretch, I would say. Would you see Jack holding a baby and getting up in the middle of the night to feed the baby, or just going?
I have so many other comments I could make, but
yeah, like walking in town with the stroller and just
someone's gonna be like, "Oh, is that your grandchild?"
Yeah, and he's gonna be like, "Nope, that's my kid." And they're like, "Oh."
Reminds me of that did happen on Modern Family, though. There's this couple. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but there's this really old dude. He marries someone who's quite younger than him, just like Jack and Lisa, and they did end up having a child.
Who is that character?
Jay and Gloria on Modern Family.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So it's not impossible, but
yeah. But I
think we're too late for that. Maybe in the beginning.
Yeah. Like it would definitely be kind of a surprise, and
and it's funny because even as a kid, I never ever like wanted them to have a kid, because like you just kind of assume at that point that it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And that's because I personally don't want kids, so I'm like, if they don't have kids, that's great. That's perfect. That's good for me.
Yeah, so we wouldn't agree, I guess.
Yeah. That was awesome.
But it's interesting to think about, like, who made that confession, and maybe they're on the younger side and might
I was
not.
gonna say, it sounds like someone really young did that.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm like crying. That was funny. Okay, I found this one really interesting. I'm confused. Were the people who shot Amy and Ty ever apprehended? Is there no trial happening? Why is this not being addressed? If my husband dies from complications of being shot, I feel I would be on top of the legal ramifications for the culprit.
Yeah, I agree.
I do too, and I've never thought of it until I saw that confession.
Yeah, like I know there was this whole 1 year Trump, but
yeah,
like you would think that if that happened, they would mention like, I'm glad the guy is behind the bars or whatever.
yeah.
You would think that Amy, well, she was kind of, broken, of course, but you would think that, she would want to have justice for Ty because it was this person's fault.
He was technically murdered.
Yeah. So you wouldn't
for
let that go.
manslaughter. I watch too many like Law and Order shows to know these things, but like
even if it doesn't bring him back, you don't want to be like, oh well, he's free to walk around and do whatever. Even if it wasn't technically intentional, but it's still, people have
it would be manslaughter or first-degree murder or something.
Yeah, people have been going to jail for less.
Yeah.
Prison, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But I wish they would have done something with that. I know the first episode was supposed to be about, this tribute to Ty and sort of this beautiful way to remember him. But yeah, they could have mentioned it at some point. Like,
I wonder if it was even like a thought.
Yeah.
If that was something like they ever even considered bringing into the show.
Yeah, especially like
a good storyline for season 15.
Yeah, because, they decided that that was going to be the way that Ty would exit the show. So you would think that they would think it through. They're like, do we want to go down that road? And, they did that whole episode with Georgie's, the guy who caused the accident.
Thinking about that.
Yeah.
Because that's also on the list of the saddest episodes.
Yeah.
But I think that would be really cool to do, to have whomever did shoot them to be in an episode. Like, could you just imagine how like compelling and like heart-wrenching that would be? But it would be a good storyline.
Like maybe the guy is trying to find forgiveness from Amy or something, and then she's like, no, get out. Yeah. I think that would be interesting story, really but like I don't know when he would get out of jail. Like, is the show still going at that point? But
that wouldn't make any sense because technically this person would be in jail for a while. Even if it's manslaughter or first degree, I'd say probably 10 years.
So probably not happening, but would be kind of cool.
Or if she got like a letter or something.
Oh, true. They could send letters.
Mailaprisoner.com.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, she's Amy Fleming, so maybe he could find her address.
Yeah.
Or if he knows who she is.
Let's say they do another like jump.
Yeah.
Like a 10-year jump.
Or like a movie around that, but like I doubt
it. This one's 100% controversial. You absolutely cannot tell me that Jade is straight. She and Georgie would be actually so cute together, though. Agreed.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's a problem with the ages, but
I mean, now it would be different, but it would be weird because Georgie was a minor, and I would assume Jade was an adult when she came on the show.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know what her age would be, but it could be problematic for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same with the Clay situation because, and I don't know if this is a known thing or not, but Clay and Georgie were supposed to be a couple, but they changed their minds about it because of the age difference.
Yeah, because Eric was casted as Clay, so they changed it up, and I think that's part of the reason why they have him be with Jade.
Which is also weird because like Alicia's 20, I think, and Jordan Burchett is like 28.
Yeah.
It is kind of,
Yeah.
you know.
Now it's okay, but like couple of
So Madison's 27 now.
Yeah.
And she came on season 7, so she would have been 19, 20 when that happened.
Yeah. I would
Still
agree that
crazy.
if they were to do a storyline with a same-sex couple, Jade would be the way to go.
Yeah, exactly. Or at least have her become some sort of like a bisexual character on the show, because she's had a boyfriend, but like why can't she just bring home a girl and people just act normal about it? Like it doesn't have to be a big thing. I just feel like if there would be any character on the show to be an LGBT, it would be a good idea to do Jade, because she's just such an inspiration already as a female character, breaking down barriers, that it would be even better for her to be breaking barriers in a whole other part of life with the LGBTQ community.
Yeah. And even in the digital series Hudson, Jade was very supportive of the LGBTQ videos. It wouldn't be such a stretch to
no
do something with her character. So next one, I feel like the time skip really hurt the Georgie Gwen storyline, because I just don't care about them as much as a couple, and I missed out on all of the bonding that would make me believe it, like Georgie and Adam or Georgie and Wyatt.
Oh, I agree 100%. They really rushed that couple, and it didn't give you time to like fall in love with their relationship, like with Jack and Lisa or any other couple on the show you got to see that. It's and I like them together, but I don't like ship them because we don't really know that much about them. They haven't really done that much together.
Like I remember in season 13, episode 6, when he showed up, I was kind of like, okay, who is this guy? Like, I don't trust him, and this is too much and too soon. And because it wasn't like, hi, I'm back, but it was kind of like, we're kind of together in a way, but not really. So I wasn't sure about them at first, but I like them, but I feel like it's missing something. And I think they could have done maybe a few flashbacks of them in Europe somewhere, more than
even some like scenes of them together in Florida or wherever they were.
They've been to Vancouver and Dubai and Europe, so they could just pretend that wherever they are, it's like Florida.
Well, they did those pictures with Jack and Lisa in France, right? Like it's possible movie magic.
And there was this one scene with Georgie and Quinn when they had these like white clothes on. I don't remember if it was like a flashback.
It was like,
but that's not enough for them to kind of explain their situation.
It was interesting. Like you could tell there was a connection, but you don't get enough time to grow with them.
Yeah.
As you do with, and the time jump does not help for that at all. I really don't know, like I really want Georgie to have that, but like it's not as exciting in the fandom when you don't, like he just came in randomly.
Yeah.
I could have been done different and better.
When thinking back, like Ty and Amy, they like there are these moments that we kind of have them together, but not yet, and that builds the excitement, and that
that's exactly it. Yeah, that's why people
attachment
watch shows like, and you got to leave them hanging because they're gonna come back for more.
Yeah, it's another thing to have a couple that's like already married when the show starts, but
and I mean, having the season cut in half episode wise probably doesn't help either.
Yeah.
This one I thought was funny and relatable. Not mine. This is from Tumblr. If Ty leaves, I might actually start watching Heartland again. And I think I know who wrote that one too.
Yeah, it wasn't me. I mean, I've been watching the whole time, but yeah, I think
No,
I might have an idea as well.
It wasn't Smoke and Holsters either.
Yeah, because he's been watching as well.
Yeah, you got like all these fans rising from the dead. Like I came back and started a podcast because of it. Because it's been so good. The season's been so good. And I didn't believe they'd actually do it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we knew about it for months ahead of time, or probably even almost like a year.
Yeah,
And
almost.
I just like that whole time I'm like, this can't, like, they're not gonna do this. And then they did it.
Yeah. There are people who were like, I'm gonna stop watching Tie Dyes. And then there were people who were like this confession saying like, I'm gonna come back because, you know, this is happening. So it's interesting that, you know, he was such a character that kind of divided the fandom in a way.
Oh, he's divided it. Ty and Graham, they've both divided the fandom for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have another confession?
Yeah, I have the last one. Heartland needs to stop thinking that making villains disappear solves everything.
Yes!
Chase vanished into the sunset with his wife, though he got a send-off. Jeremy just disappeared, even though it's reasonable to think he'd still be out for Ty. And Ahmed, even though he's supposedly madly in love with Amy, poof. I'm not saying I like these characters or that I want them on the show. I just think that there should be closure regarding their storylines instead of just the family dealing with the fallout.
This confession in particular, the very first thing that came to mind was Jeremy.
Yeah.
Like, that was so bad.
I was gonna ask you, like, if you were to bring back one, so to speak, villain, who would it be?
Jeremy, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because I want that to be finished. And I low-key want to see, like, either Blair, because I'd say she's considered a villain.
Yeah.
And what's her name? From season 1?
Carrie Ann?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to see them come back.
Yeah. I think for me, the number one pick would be Jeremy as well. Just because, you know, it's just like with the whole shooting Ty thing, like you would think that him killing his horse would be, you know, something that would get him in trouble, but...
And same with the poachers.
Yeah.
When it came to Bob and stuff, like, is there no law and order in Hudson, or...
Apparently
they got
not.
one cop and he's busy all the time.
Yeah, he's like, oh, gosh, another stolen cattle.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, but I think, you know, it's just frustrating because they write these like villains and then have people enraged and then, you know, they just go away and that's that.
That's closure.
Yeah. And at the same time, you know, it's been a while, like, how would they even bring him back? I don't know, but like back when he disappeared, I really wanted them to deal with it, but it's been like what, 8 years or so.
Well, do you remember when they brought Lisa's jockey back? What was his name, Liam or something?
Yeah,
he got like banned, I think, in season 3, and then he was back in season 5, I think.
I remember him coming back, but I remember
it was in an episode with Shane, because they went to go rescue those horses or whatever, and he was one of the jockeys.
Yeah, true.
So I mean, it's possible to bring the villains back if they just want to have to do it.
It would be kind of interesting, like, to have, I don't know, Amy in a grocery store and just like picking vegetables, and then her gaze just wandering randomly and being like, "That's Jeremy," and them just locking eyes and him going like, "Oh shit," and then just running away or something.
Yeah,
like him just living his life because he got away with it.
He did, yeah. And it's funny because we've never seen a scene in a grocery store.
Yeah. Like,
which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, and I've never thought of it before.
Yeah, we just see them with paper bags or something.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
I mean, it's not the most dramatic content, but things happen in grocery stores
cool.
as well.
Yeah, you'd think.
Yeah.
Now this one's pretty long. I'm gonna try to like sum it up. It's quite long.
Oh.
This is referring to season 11, episode 16. Amy overreacts to Lisa working out of her old bedroom. She's sorry, but still claims Lisa was presumptuous. Lisa is so mistreated by Amy and Lou sometimes. This scene reminded me how it never seemed like Amy and Lou accepted Lisa after she married into the family. Jack encouraged Lisa to work there, and it's his house. I don't think Amy had the right to throw a fit as if she still lived there, which is basically just the sum up. It's really long, but that sums it up. What do you think?
I mean, I agree. I mean, I get that Amy has this attachment to the house and she sees herself living there all her life, but she could have handled it differently. And I think it's really true what they said about Amy and Lou not accepting Lisa into the family in a way. I mean, they had their moments, but sometimes they're just like being kind of rude and I just feel sorry
and
for
you know what,
Lisa.
I get that Amy was upset. It's her, her childhood bedroom, and I think that in those kind of moments, not just Amy but like any person, real life or character, you're gonna have these moments when it feels as though your inner child's coming out and like, don't you, like, I don't want anyone in my bedroom. So I get it. So I do kind of get it, and I agree that they should respect her more, and they are now, I think.
Yeah.
But I agree that they were, like, Jack said she could be in there. It's not like she was doing something she wasn't supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I see where Amy's coming from, but
was that the same season that Lisa had her stone?
Yeah.
Okay,
her stone came like 2 episodes after that.
So I was thinking that I kind of remember being like, why are they pitting Amy and Lisa against each other? Like, what's going on?
They had such a good relationship at the beginning of the show, like when Lisa bought Amy that dress in season 3. I love that particular scene too. I love it.
I understand both their sides, and I think maybe Amy was she makes up with Lisa at the end of the episode. But
well, it's like the same when Amy was planning her wedding and Lisa wanted to help.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? And then Amy just kind of like freaked out on her.
Yeah, like
they had that really nice moment in her room later on.
Yeah. I mean, that scene was great, and I understand Amy was emotional because Marion was not there. But sometimes it's like, does the end justify the means, or whatever the saying is? It's kind of like, oh, when you see the fight or the like weird conflict. I'm not saying that Amy is a bad person for doing that, because she
it's
has
understandable.
But it's like, it just makes me wonder, like, what the thought process with the writers is sometimes, because they're just making it hard for Lisa to be in the family sometimes.
Yeah, it makes it almost impossible. And like I said, I think it is getting better, but we were also talking, I think was last episode with Smoke and Holsters, about how like Amy kind of overreacted about Lisa getting a stone. That's another moment like that I and truthfully, in that moment I didn't understand, and I still don't, why Amy was so upset.
Yeah, I don't either. But it's been a while since I've seen the episode, so maybe my perception has changed. But
yeah, that's true.
But at the time, I remember being like, okay, this is kind of weird. Like, where's this leading to? Like, is there a reason why it's suddenly so hard for Amy to accept that Lisa is part of the family, because she's been married to Jack like a couple of years at that point.
Yeah, at that point it'd been a few years, and she had known Lisa for 11 years.
Yeah, so it's not like she's just this.
She'd been dating him for 2 weeks.
Yeah, Like it's not like the situation with Tim and Callie or whatever her name was in season 2, which was, you know, different.
That made me uncomfortable. I didn't like her or them together, I should say.
Yeah,
So
but it's like I think that was, you know, she was young. She was like 16, so you know, having your dad be with someone else, and you know, she had just recently lost Marion, and you know, there were all these kind of high emotions going on.
And like Tim had just come back into her life,
Yeah.
right? Like for about a year. So I mean, there's probably a lot of things going through her head because she's a child. She's 16.
Yeah. But then, you know, back in season 11, it's like, okay, she's more grown up. Like, you would think that she would be
acting this way.
Yeah. You know, I get both sides, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, oh, I don't like these scenes.
What do you think of this now that we're on this topic of Lisa, Lou, and Amy in season 2 when Lisa sets her up with Peter, and then that whole thing with Mackenzie, and then she ended up like basically screaming at Lisa for like that whole scene. Do you remember that?
Vaguely. I mean, it's
and I'm just like, and I get why Lou was upset, but what do you think, like, her reaction to that? Was it like acceptable? Was it an appropriate, you know, response to what Lisa had done?
About setting her up with Peter?
Yeah, Peter, and then how she interfered with Mackenzie's wedding, which is probably like,
I mean, Lou is the kind of person that wants to have the control in a way. And I mean, I kind of get that because I'm like that sometimes, but
me too.
But you know, maybe it was she felt like she had to say something, but she just didn't know how to express herself, and it just kind of blew up. Because
and in that moment when that's happening, you're not thinking rational, you're thinking with like, you know, she was pissed off, she was angry, and she just kind of said what was ever there, and I think we're all guilty of doing that. But so in a way, I think it was justified to a point because Lisa did interfere when she asked her not to.
I think Lisa just wanted to kind of push Lisa back a few steps just to kind of make it clear that you know, she needs space. So
you got two strong, very strong independent women, right? They clash.
And I don't think Lisa ever means anything bad with her interfering.
No, never.
But it's just, you know, she gets so excited and you know,
when
wants to help.
Yeah.
But you know, I can understand that can create conflicts, especially with Lou, who is very similar in a way that she wants to help and organize and all that. And I think back in season 2, maybe Lou was still kind of dealing with her breakup with Scott, and then
she was also quite young then too, wasn't she?
She's like,
I actually don't know,
26 or something.
Oh, okay, yeah, that is.
Yeah, and I wasn't there like a scene where did Lou apologize Lisa?
To Lisa?
Yeah.
In that particular, so later on, Lisa comes back to pick up her empty chili pot, and Lou's there, and they both kind of like apologize simultaneously.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm glad. Like, I don't remember it vividly, but from what you're saying, I'm glad that they both apologize, because I think they both had to kind of make peace with the situation.
And then after what Lisa did for Lou's wedding, I mean, that was everything.
Saved the day, honestly.
Yeah, there's nothing that Lisa wouldn't do for those girls, that's for sure.
Yeah.
More Jack and Lisa ones. Oh, here's one about Lou. If I have to sit through another Lou Fleming wedding, I will probably throw up.
I mean, she's only gotten married once, so it's not like it's her 5th time or whatever, but I don't know. I would have been interested to see what it would have been like, because I think I talked about this in our first episode, but you know, back when Lou was getting married to Peter, she had all these plans, and then suddenly, you know, everything's changed.
Bridezilla.
And you know, maybe this time around she would have gotten the wedding she always wanted. But even with this wedding, it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like she wasn't planning the wedding she always wanted, but planning the wedding she already had, which wasn't her dream. So it was kind of weird.
Yeah, very weird. I agree. It was just really. It just felt like I was rewatching, you know, season 3 again, how she was planning her wedding, and it didn't go well the first time. Like, quit while you're ahead.
Yeah, like I know Louis is a controversial character in a way, but I just feel like she never gets to be happy.
No.
Truly. So I would have loved to see her getting her dream wedding and, you know, her dream life and everything. Maybe it would have been with Mitch, but you know, at this point.
I've always liked Lou for the fact that she's such a strong female role and always has been in the show. So even when the times when I didn't like Lou, I still like her for what she stands for, you know?
Yeah. And I think she's a very humane or whatever the word is, character. Like she's very real in a way. Like we might not always like her, but she's honest in a way that, you know, maybe we all have a little bit of Lou in us.
For sure.
And then, you know, we don't like to see those sides of ourselves on screen, maybe. So maybe that's why people get so mad.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to remember that everyone's human, even fictional characters. Like.
Yeah. So I'm not that hard on her as maybe some other people are, because, you know, I'm trying to understand.
I like her.
Yeah. I'm trying to understand where she's coming from, and maybe she's not always doing things as I would, but, you know, she's not me. So
yeah, exactly.
So that was our episode for this week. We hope you enjoyed this. And if you want to see us reacting to other confessions sometimes, you know, let us know. So maybe we'll
I think it would be a cool segment to have on the show.
Yeah. So. Maybe we'll do part 2 of confessions episode.
Yes. And next week we have a friend of ours as a guest on the show, also a Heartland fan. We'll talk about all this next week, but I am so excited to have her on.
Yeah.
So excited.
Like
we've both known her forever, I think, like a long time.
Last week when we had our first guest, it really made, you know, me realize that it's fun to have other people in.
My God,
even though, you know, I enjoy talking with you, of course, but just to kind of give it a little new spin.
Having, like, when we brought Smoke and Holsters on, by the end of that episode, I was like, I had never thought of any of those things the way he had thought of them.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like changed everything in a good way. And I'm like, I don't know how I didn't even think of that before.
Yeah, it's fun to bring in people and, you know, hear their thoughts, because we're just 2 people and mostly we agree about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we're on the same page for basically everything.
Yeah, so it's nice to have another voice to kind of make us go like, huh, never thought of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we have a couple of guests for the future as well. Ever since we had our first guest, we had people messaging to be a guest, which is awesome, which is exactly what we wanted. So if you want to be on the show and talk about something to the show related, DM us on Instagram or Tumblr or
wherever.
I don't know what else we have.
Like if you have a topic that you're passionate about, like we like to have a topic that we discuss with our guests, and then the conversation will flow from that, and we can talk about other stuff as well, of course. But you know, we need a starting point.
Yeah, agreed, for sure.
Yeah.
So until next week, we will
keep our noses clean
and our powder dry, as they say.
Yeah. See you next week.
Peace.